Monkey, monkey. Monkey, monkey. Woo woo. Good morning. I just finished my drive on the Kona 1.6 turbo N line. What a name, right? Let's look at this car. Now, it is a car that many, including myself, do not understand at the first place. Is this a HRV competitor? Is this a Corolla Cross competitor? Is it a CX-3 competitor? Or a CX-30 or whatnot? Now, I would say it is basically that of a BC segment hatch, right? But no, it's a crossover. All right, it is a crossover that is aiming squarely at the HRV. If you think about the Tucson looks very, very SUV-ish, and modern Tucsons have grown in sizes to sort of like comparable, you know, like CX-5 and all that. Now this is actually that of, you can think of it as a CX-30 competitor. Okay, it is a crossover, the HRV market, the Corolla Cross market. But this car is a bit compact. And even so, the profiles of this car actually made it look even smaller from photos. Just look at it from this angle. It looks like a B segment hatch. Right, it totally looks like a B segment hatch. You thought from pictures this is like Mazda 2 size, but it's not. It's actually a tall riding crossover. In fact, I think the seating position could have been maybe even a little bit taller than that of the HRV. Now look at the design of the Kona. The Koreans, especially Hyundai, has been going on berserk. That's all I can describe. The way they design their cars now is outright berserk. Okay, they don't care about convention or family language and all that. They just went all out. Now look at the car. Where's the headlamp? Where is the headlamp? It's not this one. It is this one. Yes, that's the headlamp. So if you to look at the soul of a car, everybody's eyes are now focused on this part, right? That's how you look at a car, right? You assume that's the eyes, right? So if I cover this, yeah, those are the eyes down there. Imagine someone, if you want to pull a prank on yourself, you go and wrap this up in this body color, just wrap it up, then you can sort of visualize how the car looks. It looks like a monster, right? It looks like a low monster with a large forehead. But of course, that's not their intention. This serves the road, shooting the road, and then this one serves as the overall identity of the car, this slim eye. So no headlamps can be made that slim, but daytime running lights can. And to give that kind of visual drama, they pull off this, right? And then they hide the headlamp assembly into the side supposedly intakes, but now it's more for stylistic purposes. Okay, I think Hyundai is the only car maker that has actively pursued this strategy, and probably Citroen. Okay, looking down here, this one actually channels some air out, almost, I mean not to the, basically to the wheels, you know, of course to give it that sporty intent. Alright, and then the grills here, you know, where they designed it, and then down here there's a little bit of a splitter here. Basically everything that they do here is sort of look alike, you know. What I mean is this little thing here, I don't think it serves a lot of, I mean, usage in terms of downforce and all that. But if you look at it, does the air sort of looks like it'll flow here? Definitely, it will. I mean, don't need a scientist to do that, right? You open a hole, air will go past it. Then see this pattern, see here, and this pattern doesn't repeat. See, that's what I'm saying about Hyundai. Who came up with this? Like how did someone came up with something that is so asymmetrical. This part and this that is not symmetrical. All right, it's just, yeah. And then this is another one. So, and this one is fake. It's covered. You know, so I mean, they're having a field day there, man. Like, let's split up the front and let's add elements to it. That's the radar down here. Okay. Specs are really high. This car has specifications are high. You know what? As weird as it is, looking at it, right, with all these elements, right, overall, the styling of the car isn't as weird as the Lexus UX with all those sharp lines, right? See Mazda, the CX-30, they rubberize this part. It's like the rubber bumper patch, right? But here on the Hyundai is body color. Okay, those are those wheels. And then this morning, as I drove up Genting, I was like, wow, the tires are great. And then upon checking, these are premium contact 6. Yep, this is a PS4 level tire, and it's just amazing, right? Okay, on the sides here, you have the side skirts and all that, all in body color. I'm surprised. I mean, they've went to this extent to add so many little styling bits over here, and over here they have so many opportunity to pull off those kind of styling bits. Like, this is a separate piece. This is a separate piece. They could have had like a two-tone door skirt down here to not have the whole side look so tall, right? If they were to have this part darken out, you know, the whole car will look lower. But maybe their intention is to make the car look taller, to look more like an SUV. That's what people buy these days, right? Yeah. I know you're focusing your eyes. I was at the moment. It's like I shake my head and, you know, and look at it again. It's like, am I seeing a double effect over here? Is this what's going on? Because usually we would have seen, like, okay, that's the tail lamp. I'll cover this. That's the tail lamp, and then there's the fuel cap, and the wheels should go under this line, right? No, there's another line, and then another set of tail lights is like, yep, look at that. So I do not know what strategy is for this design, but this is just awkward. Right? It's like 4 tail lamps. So last time we have single pipe, twin pipe, or quad pipes, right? This one is quad tail lamp, quad headlights. It's interesting, right? It's as if this is a sedan. See that? Or this is a sedan that was double up in volume to make it into an SUV. Styling is interesting, all right? It's just not something that most people would immediately accept, especially people who are in their like 30s, who can afford. Oh, no power tailgate. I would have assumed 157,000 ringgit comes with power tailgate. Now you were thinking, why 157,000? Then you look at the boot. Hey, this boot is like a B segment, C segment hatchbacks kind of loading space. Short of a spare tire. It's not a subwoofer. It's just a foam with some kits down here, and you can say it's extra storage space, but it would be good if they put some carpet over it to make it look like a storage space. All right. No power boot here. No surprises here. I was waiting for it to. Yeah, that's the Smart Streams technology, whatever that is. Let's go to the rear seats, which is interesting. This is pure B segment back here. Okay, if I go into the car, this is very B segment, but there is a C segment with this kind of legroom, which is the Mazda 3. All right, now the seats, the angles and all, they are pretty nice. My head is like firm on the ceiling. I'm sitting okay upright, you know, visibility is all right. And then over here you have the seats, armrests, cup holders, nothing special, nothing surprising over here. And then this feels Alcantara-y, but it's not. Alright, it feels Alcantara-y. This feels leather-y, but it's not. I don't think these are real leather. But a lot of cars actually have this, you know, so no qualms about it. But we still call them leather seats nonetheless, right? They still feel more like leather than anything else, right? Okay, one single USB port here, not a USB-C, but a standard USB port. Compartment over here, nothing much, no aircon vents, nothing. So it's pretty obvious here that the base car that the Kona was built from is a B segment. Okay, keyless entry, button type. As you walk near the car, it detects your key, it will fold the mirrors out. Alright, powered seats over here. The seats are alright. Very large compartment here. In fact, it's a little bit too wide. Just now my touch and go card went flat, lodged itself in there. Door bin is not exceptionally designed. I mean, if the speakers are here, you could have put large bottles, a larger pocket and all that. Most car makers don't put a lot of emphasis on door bins, but actually door bins are hyper useful for owners. I mean, why is this whole part blocked off instead of a compartment, right? These are all plastics, a little bit of soft touch over here. High quality hard plastic. Basically it's hard plastic, but it's not the cheapo type, right? The Koreans don't use the cheapo hard plastics. And then suddenly out of nowhere, this looks like some aftermarket accessory, some red color, you know. Wow, interesting. Can I? Oh yes, it does. Just that it's very firm. Okay. Yep. Rotary aircon vents. Don't see where it came from, right? All of a sudden, and then this red accent wasn't repeated anywhere except on the aircon vents. Start the car. Maybe get some LCD graphics. Alright, that's the sound of the heads-up display unit coming up. Rather loud. What motor they put in, you know? Here you have all the buttons for, you know, like traction control, hill descent. Interesting. Heads-up display, you know, headlamps, adjusting the angle, and then the brightness, the speedo cluster, and then over here you have your lane keep assist, your distronic, you know, you can off it, and then you can adjust it when you're in adaptive cruise control mode. All right, and the car actively monitors cars in front. If you're approaching at too high a speed, it will flash a red light over here, warning, you know. So very good. Steering wheel, very good steering wheel. I mean, it feels great to the shape and the design doesn't scream much, but it's damn nice to grip, and the size is just right for this car. The weight of the steering wheel when you're turning at different speeds is perfect. Very accurate steering wheel. The leather and all that feels all right. Good quality stuff. Fit and finish is exceptional. I mean, of course, it's a B segment car as its base, right? BC segment. So there's a lot of hard plastics and all that. But in terms of the fitment, the fit and finish is really good. See, there's this. This is like, you can obviously tell that they reserve this space maybe for a premium sound system or whatnot, or a compartment, but they just cover it because it's not being spec'd here. For glasses, with some foam in there, pretty alright. That's all the sensors and cameras and all that, the modules. This is pretty okay, but it's this supplier again. Doesn't automatically switch on, but this design allows the visor to slap it and then it will off the lights. A very rudimentary way of, and because the whole roof wasn't much, you know, it's not with a lot of foam and all that, so when you actually close this visor, the hinges actually have like a step that you cross, so that this whole thing slaps it with a lot of poise and vigor, so that it switches off the lights. And then this motion, can you hear that? It echoes across the whole metal roof. The ricocheting sound of the visor slapping on the visor switch. Yeah, who has ever envisioned this paragraph existed in a car review? All right, this stand-up screen, ooh, the plastics are very high quality, and then as you can tell, it's still like I don't know, 6 or 7 inch. No surprises here, you know, radio, media, it's like damn straightforward. Okay, that's the funny thing. In an advanced infotainment system like this, right, usually the hard buttons, the buttons, the actual physical buttons, were shortcut keys for you to access different menus, and then you do things up in there. Say for example, you have radio, and then oops, oh dear, okay, so, damn, how do I go out? Okay, you have radio, you have phone, you have Android Auto, media. Sort of, you know, phone is not here, but it's all right. This material is nice, you know, and aircon vents. So actually the interior design of this car is so conventional. It feels as though this car is a combination of an interior from 2008 and an exterior from 2018, both gelled together. All right, and then out of nowhere you have this toggle kind of button, so it's a mixture, and then this whole thing almost looks like a suddenly a very Japanese looking, you know, aircon control module. The Japanese always done it this way, right? Simple screen, 2 dials, and then different modes. Very straightforward, very easy to use. Down here it gets a little bit more upmarket, right? You get a wireless charger, you get a USB charging port, fast charging, and then you get another normal USB, and then you get a 12-volt socket. And then here we have, what's interesting here is that it comes with air-conditioned seats. That's really good for Malaysia. I hope all Malaysian cars come with this. Not just heated, but cooled as well. And for both sides, very nice, very generous. And this little dial here, you see, not all Hyundais have this. Out of nowhere, this Hyundai have that. That's the interesting thing about Hyundai these days. Almost every car model has like their own unique solution. As for the drive, Eco, you will feel the car keep upshifting whenever it has, and it's loud the way it upshifts. It does that because this is a sort of like a DCT. All right, and the normal mode is really the best mode to drive in. It feels like a normal car. Sports mode feels like the car has a bit of overboost effect every time you touch the throttle, and then it just overboosts. Even after you lift your throttle, there's still a little bit boost there. Right, pedals, no complaints here. Right, the stocks and all that feels all right. I mean, the pedals feel higher quality than the stocks. The buttons and all that, everything is all right. There's a little N moniker over here, you know, to actually remind me that this car has a little bit of, this car is special. All right, parking sensors, and the layout here is actually pretty all right. You know, I can put my phone, I can put my wallet over here. Very logical, you know. So in terms of cubby spaces, you look at that, I can drop my phone here, I can drop my wallet here, and when I drop my phone here, it's in full visual. So that means that I can put it in ways, and then I put my phone there, and then I get to charge it while I use my navigation. One advice to car makers, actually, your Qi charging pad, right? Please have an option. Remember last time we have glove box that has a little lid where you can slide and open it, and you let in some aircon air into the glove box, right? Put that here next time, next to your Qi charger. Okay, so owners, we can just put our phone here, open it up so that the aircon cool down the phone while it was being wireless charged and using the GPS at the same time. That is when we need it the most. We need our phones plugged in when we are going for a longer drive with our Waze or Google Maps and all that. All right, so if there's some aircon that can be routed here, it will be highly appreciated. Okay, down here, nothing special, just a compartment, and that's about it. That's how this car is. So conclusions. All right, is this car worth buying? It's an interesting car. Okay, let me put my phone here.
When I switched to pro mileage, in my case, I got 46-47% of savings for that car.
Pro mileage was the only one that gave me 5,000 extra value to cover, yet still cheaper, a lot less. A lot less.
So, my conclusions on this car is it's not an easy car for Hyundai salesmen to sell. To be honest, it's not easy. If you think about whether it's worth it or not, right? Solely from the specifications and the power of the car and how it drives and the handling characteristics and the driving fun part and the high specifications in terms of, you know, lane keep assist, you have the Distronic, you have brake warning, you know, you have all these USB ports, wireless chargers, all this. Lacking a sunroof, you know, that would be nice if you have a sunroof for a lifestyle kind of car. If this car is lifestyle, very young, very chic, very lively, you know, very fun driving car, then a sunroof would be nice, right? Is it a very serious hot hatch? It cannot be, because if it is a serious hot hatch, it would not be a crossover form factor. So is there like a crossover GTI? Maybe next time, we're not sure, right? Drivetrain is certainly a more expensive engine and transmission as compared to like a 1.8 NA Honda HR-V or Toyota Corolla Cross, right? It's a costlier car to pass to you from the dealer, because they put in a lot of stuffs, all right, and it's an expensive drivetrain. But why I say it's a difficult sell, it's not particularly a car that answers people's need. Who the hell out there wants a tiny SUV or tiny crossover that is somewhat not very spacious, no rear aircon vents, sitting at the rear? You tell people this car is sitting inside, if you tell people that this car is 85,000, they'll be like, okay, but you tell them 157, they'll be like, where, you know, where's that money? Oh, it's in the handling and the performance, you know. It's a bit of a hard sell. Plus there's LCD as well. But I understand, right? Malaysia, local assembly can get a lot of leeway when it comes to pricing, and then fully imported like this one, no choice, the taxation is high. So I pity those people in Hyundai as well. Not easy to sell, but does this car has its merits? Aplenty. If I'm not wrong, it is the most enjoyable to drive crossover out there now. All right, the power, the handling, the chassis, the balance, very nice to drive. It can drive very fast. My only qualms with regards to handling dynamics is the throttle mapping. They need to do something about it. The throttle mapping is not something that people are used to. Late 90s Japanese turbo cars have a lot of this effect where you go your throttle down and then it boosted, and then when you lift out the throttle, the boost still is there for a short moment. You know, it's as if like you already lift your throttle, but the car still is lurching. There's this effect there. In sports mode is most obvious, all right. But after driving like a few rounds today, right, going up Genting and all that, I appreciate it. I mean, it's not that this is a selling point. It's not a selling point. It's definitely a lack of fine tuning, you know. But the car is fun. It's not something that okay. It's not a deal breaker for me. It's not a deal breaker for me. Same goes. We are more used to the car having turbo lag, then the power coming later, so you see, we are used to this stepping on the throttle and the power is not there yet, and then later on it comes. We are used to this, but we are not used to lifting of the throttle. The power is still there, then slightly later the power goes away, right? It's something we're not used to, but it's not a deal breaker. Same goes with turbo lag. It's not a deal breaker for me. So overall, I really enjoyed the drive. Thomas was following me in his Megane RS 280 just now. He was like, my God, this car handles, man. Yes, this car handles. The chassis balance is fantastic. The accuracy of the steering, knowing where you're putting your wheels is, and then the weighting of the steering, how they weighted it at different speeds, different angle, different turning, those are all fantastic. So this is a car that, who would buy it? Is it more comfortable than a Mazda 3? Yes. The rear suspension and all that, but it's a crossover. Crossovers are supposed to be more comfortable. Is it as pretty? Not by a long mile. No way, right? The Mazda 3 is just like... And the thing is this, Hyundai, you have the capabilities to engineer just such a car, right? Why wouldn't you want to like put in the best designs, alluring designs into a car that drives like this to hook people to buy your car? Why do you want to explore so many weird split headlamp, double tail lamp, you know, wheel arch within a wheel arch, you know, bumper and bumper, door skirt with door skirt? Why do you want to approach this direction and confuse the hell out of everybody? You know, I was hoping, right, just now as I was driving down Genting, this suspension, this engine, this gearbox, right, if you guys made a convertible version of this, I will go and hunt Mazda MX-5s, you know, because this drivetrain is superior to the drivetrain in the MX-5. It provides more power, and more experienced drivers will know how to manage this power, right? So that's what I meant. You know, Hyundai certainly has the capability and the capacities to design great looking cars, but just because you have Hyundai and Genesis, don't just reserve your flowy, beautiful designs into Genesis and make it all wacky and too hyper aggressive with your regular Hyundai cars. You know, maybe that's a strategy, and I'm not the right person to tell Hyundai what to do, because I'm in Malaysia, an insignificant market from global context. Malaysia is unimportant, and whatever we can say about Hyundai, they're doing the right thing. They are the third largest car maker in the world, right? Number 1 Toyota, number 2 Volkswagen Group, number 3 is Hyundai. Hyundai Kia is actually the third largest car maker in the world. So whatever we're saying isn't valid. They are selling, and people are buying their cars. Their cars are very, very well accepted all over the world. So yeah, but for Malaysia, I think I'm still curious and wanting to see more and more people buying or owning Hyundais. Alright, yeah, that's my review. I love the drive so much that I wanted to explain more. I wanted to put more effort to explain, because I don't like the car when I saw the pictures. I don't like the car when I heard that it's arrived. I didn't even bother to go to the launch. I don't like the car from pictures, from outside, from inside. Sit in the car, I don't like it. The design and all that was all my initial notion until I drive it. Right? And now if I see another Hyundai Kona on the street, I would know that that person is enjoying his or her drive daily, because this car drives really well. Alright? Cheers.